Hello guys, welcome back to this Spanish class. As you can see, now it's time to talk about nouns. Nouns in Spanish are very special because unlike English, nouns, well, they have singular and plural, just the same as English. That's not the big news or issue, but nouns in Spanish have also a gender. Yes, a gender. I know English speakers, they don't need to worry about a gender. They just say the boy, the pencil, the chair, the computer, and that's it. Awesome, right? No gender thing. It's great. Well, Spanish is great as well, but you need to make a little effort to say nouns correctly, putting the correct gender before the noun. Why? Because nouns in Spanish have gender and they can be masculine or feminine. For example, in English you can say the book, which in Spanish is el libro, and for example you can say the computer, which in Spanish is la computadora. We don't have one definite article as English speakers, but don't worry. Yes, don't worry, because I will try to make this as easiest as possible for you so you can grasp this and really understand the gender thing so you can be talking in Spanish correctly in a bit. Right, like I said, the English speakers, they use the definite article the or da to specify nouns. For example, the computer, the flower, the keyboard, the TV, etc. Alright? And in Spanish we have el for singular and we have la for feminine. So el and la is the same as the or da. The only thing is that el is for masculine and la is for feminine. Alright? Okay? So let's see some examples. For example, in English, if you say the book, you will have to say el libro in Spanish. El libro. Why? Because libro, the noun libro, which means book, is masculine in Spanish. Libro is masculine. So we have to use el, because el is for masculine. El libro, which means the book. Okay? Another example is la manzana. La manzana means the apple. The apple. Why we have to say la manzana and not el manzana? Well, that's very simple because manzana, the noun manzana, which means apple, is feminine. And so since it is feminine, we cannot say el manzana because, as we know, la is the equivalent to the or da, but for the feminine nouns. So we need to say la manzana. And it sounds proper, it sounds correct, it sounds good actually. Because el manzana doesn't quite sound good, right? La manzana and el libro. That means the book, el libro, and the apple, la manzana. Good. Okay, now let's talk about a little bit about indefinite articles. Indefinite articles in English are a and an. For example, if you want to talk about some apple, you know, just some random apple, you say an apple. If you want to specify an apple, you say the apple. And if you want to talk about some regular, normal, or just an apple, you say an apple, right? So to say that in Spanish, we have un for masculine. This is singular, right? And so it is un for masculine and una for feminine. For example, going back to the apple example, if you want to say an apple in Spanish, what you will say? Un manzana or una manzana? Apple is feminine, so we have to go for una manzana, right? Una manzana, that means an apple. And if you want to say a book, in Spanish you say un libro, because libro is masculine, so we have to say un. We cannot say una libro because that just doesn't sound correct, or it doesn't even sound good, right? Un libro. That's the correct way to say it. But let's see some examples to better understand this. For example, if you want to say a tree, in Spanish you say un árbol. Un árbol. Okay, because árbol is masculine, so we need to use un árbol. And if you want to say a voice, you say una voz, because voz is feminine. Voz means voice, una voz. Alright, so after the first lesson, you may be wondering, how can we know when it's masculine and where it's feminine? Well, let me tell you that in order to know when a noun is masculine or feminine, there are some rules that we can follow to know the gender of a noun. It's important for you to know that these rules may have some exceptions. That means not always these rules will apply to get to know the gender of a noun. And the only way to know those nouns' gender is through practice and time. So here we have the rule for masculine. Spanish nouns ending in L, O, R, E, N, and S are masculine. And we can think of this rule as a guy named Lawrence, and this guy Lawrence will help us to know when a noun is going to be masculine. So Lawrence is the guy here. Okay? So every time you check out a noun and see that it ends whether in L, O, R, E, N, or an S, most of the time they will be masculine. Okay? For example, the word árbol in Spanish means tree. Okay? And as we can see, it ends in L. And if it ends in L, that means that it's masculine. Okay? So if we want to say the tree, in español we say el árbol. El árbol. And we use el because el is for masculine. Okay? And if you want to talk about some regular or some random or just a tree, in Spanish we say un árbol. Un árbol. We use the indefinite article un to specify that we're talking about just some random, just a tree. Un árbol. The word examen means exam. And as we can see, it ends in N. So according to the guy Lawrence N, it is masculine. So if you want to say the exam, in Spanish you say el examen. El examen. We use el because el is for masculine, and examen is masculine because it ends in N. And if you want to say an exam, you say un examen. Un examen. And it's the same. We use un because un is for masculine. Next we have regalo. Regalo means gift, and it ends in O. So it's masculine. So we say el regalo to say the gift. And we say un regalo to say a gift. Okay, good. Next we have celular. Celular means cell phone. And as you can see, celular ends in R. So according to Lawrence, our guy here, it is masculine. So if we know that a noun is masculine, we know that we have to use the definite article el or the undefinite article un. Okay, if you want to say the cell phone, we say el celular, and un celular if you want to say a cell phone. Now it's time to check out the rule for the feminine nouns, and it goes like this. Spanish nouns ending in D, A, Z, and ción are feminine, son femeninos. Spanish nouns ending in D, A, Z, and sion are feminine. So we need to learn this. Alright, and a good way to do that is by thinking of this rule as a girl named Dacion. And she will help us to know when a noun is feminine. Okay? So for example, we have the noun playa. And as you can see, playa means beach. And playa ends in A. And our girl Dacion says it is feminine. Alright? So if you want to say the beach, in Spanish you say la playa. We use la because the definite article la is for feminine nouns. And since playa is feminine, according to Dacion, we use la. So it is la playa. If you want to say a beach, we say una playa. Una playa. Voz. Voz. Voz means voice. And since voz ends in zeta, Dacion is telling that it is feminine. So we have to use the definite article la and una. So it is la voz, which means the voice, and there is una voz. Una voz. Una voz means a voice. Now we have the noun canción. Canción. Canción ends in N. But notice that it ends in sion. It not only ends in N, but it ends in sion. So if it ends in sion, the sion says it is feminine. So we have to use the definite article la, right? La canción. La canción. That means the song. And we have to use the undefinite article una to say una canción. Una canción. Una canción means a song. Alright, now we have the noun tienda. And as you can see, or as you can imagine, tienda means store. And if you want to say this store in Spanish, you say la tienda. La tienda. And if you want to say a store, you say una tienda. Una tienda. Alright, now we will see some exceptions to the rules that we just have learned. Even though the rules for the masculine and feminine nouns works for the most or for the majority of the nouns, there are some exceptions that you need to know about. These are just some of them. These are just some of the most common nouns that are exceptions to the rule Lawrence, but there are some other more that you will learn with practice and time. Okay? So we have the first noun, which is arroz. Arroz. Arroz ends in zeta. So according to Dacion, it should be feminine, right? But well, it isn't. It's masculine actually. And so you say el arroz. El arroz to say the rice. Right, next we have shampoo. Shampoo. Shampoo means shampoo. Right, and it ends in U, but it's masculine. Okay, so you say el champú. El champú. Now we have the noun dia. Dia means day. And as you can see, dia ends in a, but it's not feminine. It's actually masculine. If you want to talk about the day, you say el día. El día. For example, today, you say el día de hoy. Now we have the noun water. And this case is very similar to dia because it ends in a, it ends in a, but it's actually masculine. You don't say la agua, you say el agua. Okay? I know it can be a little bit confusing, but just remember that these are some exceptions, right? For most of the nouns, the rule will apply, right? But yes, these are just some exceptions that you need to learn about. Okay? So next we have brasier. Brasier, as you can see, it means brasier, it means bra. And even though it's something that women use, it's actually a masculine noun. So you say el brasier, or el bra. You can also say el bra. Okay, now we have lápiz labial. Lápiz labial. Lápiz labial means lipstick, and it's the same case. Even though it's something that women use, it's actually a masculine noun. So it's el lápiz labial or el labial. El labial. Okay, now we have menu. Menu, and as you can imagine, menu means menu, and it's masculine. So if you're on a restaurant and you want to ask for the menu, you say el menú. El menú, right? Now we have bistec. Bistec means steak, and it's masculine. It's el bistec. And now we have mapa. Mapa means map, and even though it ends in a, it's actually masculine, so it is el mapa. Alright, now it's time to check out some exceptions of feminine nouns not ending in dación. Okay? So first we have calle. Calle. Calle means street, and as you can see it ends in a, but it's actually feminine. Okay? So if you want to say the street, you say la calle in Spanish. La calle. Right? Next we have carne. Carne. Carne means meat. And it's the same. It ends in e, but it's actually feminine. So you have to say la carne. La carne to refer to the meat. Okay? Next we have flor. Flor. Flor ends in R, and according to Lawrence, it should be masculine, right? But not, it's actually feminine. So if you want to say the flower in Spanish, in Español, you say la flor. La flor. Okay? Next we have ley. Ley means law, and ley is feminine as well. So you have to say la ley. La ley. If you want to refer to the law. Okay? Next we have mujer. Mujer. Mujer means woman, and it ends in R, so according to Lawrence it should be masculine, right? But no. Mujer is obviously feminine, and if you want to say the woman, you say la mujer. La mujer. Okay? Next we have llave. Llave. Llave means key, and it ends in E as well as calle and carne, and it's feminine. So you have to say la llave. La llave. Okay? Next we have corbata. Corbata. Corbata means tie, and as you can see it ends in A, but well, as you know, a tie or a corbata, it's something that men use. Right? So even though it's something that men use, it's actually feminine. So you have to say la corbata. La corbata. Okay? Good. Next we have cárcel. Cárcel. Right? Did you notice the accent on the A? So it sounds cárcel. Cárcel. And cárcel means jail. And as you can see, it ends in L, so Lawrence should say that it's masculine, but no, it's feminine. Okay? So you'll have to say la cárcel. La cárcel. Okay, here is an important thing about people and nouns. In situations where there is a group of nouns with both genders and we want to refer to that group, the masculine plural form of the noun is the one being used. So for example, if there is a boy and a girl, for example, el muchacho y la muchacha, and if you want to refer to that group of two people, the masculine plural form is the one being used. So if you want to refer to that group of the boy and the girl, in Spanish you say los muchachos, okay? Los muchachos. So it doesn't matter if there is 10 girls and 1 boy, you have to refer to them with the masculine plural form, okay? So you can say los muchachos or los chicos, which is a synonym of los muchachos, okay? You cannot refer to them as las muchachas or las chicas because there is one male in the group. And if there is one male in the group, you need to use the masculine plural form, okay? So we have el padre y la madre, which means the father and the mother. So you have to refer to them as los padres, los padres. And if you say los padres, everyone that speaks Spanish knows that you're referring to the mother and the father, okay? And the same thing happens with el tío y la tía, which means the uncle and the aunt. So you have to refer to them as los tíos. You have to use the masculine form, okay? Los tíos. So if you want to refer to a group where a male is involved, you have to use the masculine plural form. It doesn't matter if there is 100 girls and only 1 boy, you have to use the masculine plural form to refer to that group.